Hello.
Record for a second just to see if
We're both on the shaft. Ew.
Welcome to Horror Reviews!
You're not Bela Lugosi. Or the fake Bela Lugosi.
So, hi.
Man.
This is Liz.
Yes.
I'm Dan.
No.
And we're gonna do some horror movie reviews here on Liz's channel fairly regularly. We watch a lot of horror movies.
I like horror movies, if you hadn't figured by my posters.
Yeah, so this is Nine Tails X-Reviewer, and I'm Dan's News Reviews.
Nine Tails X-Reviewer?
Yeah, just for this though.
Oh, okay.
So, for our very first horror review thingamajig,
It's two movies.
it's two movies actually.
Because we saw them back to back.
Recently, The Last Exorcism Part 2 came out, and so she had seen the first one, I hadn't seen the first one, and I want to watch both of them in a row because I didn't want to come in halfway through the story. Although there is like a previously on Last Exorcism at the beginning of the second one, so I did.
I was gonna say, you didn't really need to see it. I was just like, you didn't have to watch it again.
They kind of have a brief cut montage of the first movie at the beginning of the second one. So, but yeah, so the first Last Exorcism movie.
It sounds so stupid. The first Last Exorcism.
And review. What were your thoughts on the first Last Exorcism?
I don't know. I've seen it twice.
Yeah.
Well, 3 times because we didn't watch it all the way
2.5.
2.5.
There you go.
Whatever.
We tried to watch it once before.
I got tired and bored.
Yeah.
Because I knew the movie and I was just I don't know. It was alright.
Yeah.
Ending was good, but the entire movie just... It's not the best. It's that whole handheld camera crap.
Yeah, found footage is kind of annoying because generally, like, it's like 10-15 minutes of setup. Although for this movie,
there was a lot more setup than there was.
Yeah, for this one, like,
there had to be though.
Yeah.
You had to set up the preacher and how he actually, you know, did what he did and why he did it.
I like when they're more set up documentary style, like this one was, because it starts off with a purpose. But when it's like kids using a camera. Like, something like
Well, you mean like VHS too? Like the ones where the dog and the camera?
Yeah, stuff like that. Like, well, for those it's not... Character's not crazy important, so they don't really have to spend a whole lot of time setting stuff up sometimes, but...
Still.
But,
still annoying.
It's just annoying seeing kids walk around like, hey, Tyler, my brother, how are you?
Oh, like Paranormal Activity 2.
All of them. All of the Paranormal Activities have like 10, 15 minutes
the first one was pretty good though.
No, they weren't bad. It's just like the first 10, 15 minutes. Every single movie is like set up.
But it has to be for found footage because I think it's the way they have to set it up.
That's the way you have to set up characters unless you're doing it documentary style, in which case you could explain immediately, and there's a reason for it. So I understand the naturalism of having to explain who everybody is by doing it that way.
But I mean, like, the whole plot, I mean, if... I don't know who hasn't seen The Last Exorcism, but the plot of it is a preacher is making money, and he's going to these people in... Where was this? Like...
It was in Louisiana.
Louisiana, and jerry rigs this shit. Oh, it's an exorcism, and she's freaking out and all this shit. And then it turns out, because, I don't know, spoilers, I guess? Like, who hasn't seen this movie? Turns out that she was being pretty much... If you've seen Rosemary's Baby, you know how this movie ends.
Yeah. I haven't seen Rosemary's Baby, so I don't know how it ends.
Okay, whatever.
I saw how it ends, but I don't know how it ends.
It's the concept of always having somebody... You have a group of people that are against you. Personally, I don't like that because I think everyone's out to get me because I'm a weirdo, but that's kind of the... Stop. You've got a group of people, especially another priest, which that's even more disturbing in my opinion, summoning a demon inside of you. That's just gross.
Yeah.
That baby. Did you see the way it looked at the end?
Yeah.
It had 3 prong things on the back of its neck.
Yeah, it looked weird.
That was fucking weird.
I thought it was pretty good, like, throughout. I thought it was interesting throughout. I liked the preacher, I liked the story they did with him, I liked the fact that he was a guy, essentially a kid who was raised up being a priest as kind of a con, actually, but then, like, never really believed what he was saying, and he's kind of a priest without faith, and I like the reason why he's doing the last exorcism is because there was an accidental death in an exorcism because I guess the priest went too far and ended up suffocating a kid, and he wanted to show how it was fake, like exorcisms were actually fake, and at least how he did them, and so. But there turns out to be a real possession, or is it? Or it is. But it was pretty interesting throughout, I thought.
Well,
and the end, I mean, I like the end, but I didn't like how it immediately ended, like at the very ending. Like it's just like...
Well, with just the camera that was just sitting there for a while. I don't know.
Could have done without that. But I mean, what else? How else
they
are you
have
gonna end
the
it?
same.
How else are you gonna end it?
Well, they're all dead, so I don't know how you would end that.
It's pretty good.
That wasn't too bad. I like the ending.
Yeah.
Because of the fire. That was a cool fire. It was cool pyrotechnics.
Seemed like it might have been enhanced once it got big. With
no, it did. Yeah, it did.
Definitely, but
because they had to, because there was a face in the fire. If you didn't see that, the demon's face was in the fire. It kind of also played a little bit off of Exorcism of Emily Rose a little bit. If you the barn scene.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I haven't seen
very
that in
loosely
a long
based
time.
though.
Do I have that movie?
I think so.
We should watch that and review it. I haven't seen that in a long time. That might be one of our next reviews.
There's a lot of movies we've seen recently that I want to review.
Yeah.
I need to write a list.
Yeah.
Though there are certain ones I don't think we should talk about. Like the one we saw last night.
Well, we should review those.
That porno.
Because that'd be interesting.
The porno one? The life and death of a porno gang?
Yeah, we watched some fucked up horror movies.
I've seen
horror
movies.
I
Yeah,
mean,
they're not
that's
horror.
Not really scary. It's more just gore.
It's a gore fest. If you're a gore hound and you love blood, those are movies for you.
But I mean, like, I'm kind of like into any kind of movie as long as it's interesting. And some of the movies we watch, although they're weird and very out there and get very sexual and like aren't abashed by that, like I don't care.
That's
as long
because
as
they're foreign.
Yeah, it's like
that's why.
Like I'm not like ew dick, ooh boobs, ew butt. Oh, they're two guys making out and now they're doing each other. Like I'm not weirded out by that.
I'm not
so
saying
like,
you should be, and I'm not either. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
It's
dudes doing each other.
Or newborn porn.
Oh no, that was Serbian film. Oh man, I've become like a horror movie connoisseur essentially since I've started dating Liz, watching all these movies that I'd never watched before. But they're interesting.
You could review all the Hellraiser movies too.
Oh no, that means we have to watch all the Hellraiser movies.
I can already do Revelations. I don't want to see it again.
I gotta see it though.
You don't need to.
Anyway.
Okay, we're off track
Second
here.
last exorcism. So the second last exorcism.
Part
2. Now this movie abandons the found footage thing.
Oh, completely.
Which is cool. Which actually makes it better.
Yeah.
And adopts, regular film style. Like the movie starts off with a shot of the camera laying on the ground.
Well, that's because it's where it ended.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. I like movies that do that because that makes it easy if you've seen it.
Yeah, it jumps off right where it left off.
It makes it so simple to be like, oh, I know where we're going with this. Not, what?
Movies that start off like...
Movies?
Yeah. So, movies that start off something like... With sequels, sometimes it can either start off like a long distance after, and they have to explain things through exposition, like, oh yeah, we moved, blah blah blah. I like when movies are kind of like immediately after because then it's just like
I don't know.
It's like a continuation.
There's a movie I saw recently that did that. I can't remember what it was.
I remember Chrome Skull and Rest Stop. They both started off like exactly.
Rest Stop was exactly it. I think that was it, right? It was Chrome Skull. It wasn't Rest Stop. It was Chrome Skull because that started exactly like 5 seconds after that.
Cabin in the Woods?
No.
It started off with the guy coming out of the lake.
Well, but it's not like right where he died. That's the thing. It's like Chrome Skull started off right immediately after.
They actually showed a little bit of the beginning.
Like a little bit where he dies and that's it. But other than that,
the Hatchet movies.
Shut up.
Those start off right after the end. Hatchet 3 review coming soon.
All of them at this point.
Well, how can you review those movies? This one had a lot of gore in it.
They all have a lot of gore in it.
This one had
gore that made me go, ow. Yeah. I don't know.
Cross your legs and just like, oh no.
I was creeped out by that. Getting off topic here.
So, Last Exorcism Part 2.
I don't know. Personally, for me, I'm a pretty big believer in the supernatural. That's just me, though.
Yeah, I'm not at all. So, it's like we're yin and yang. Yin and yang, actually, not yin.
Anything like those, when they do normal movies, that have spirits standing in corners, or oh, it's behind the door, but he's walking in. Like, no, get out of the house and go away. It's like Paranormal Activity. You don't fuck with that shit. You don't mess with Ouija boards, especially.
You break out the Ouija board.
Oh my god!
You,
but then you
catch
can't
on fire
get.
In front of you.
Yeah, it didn't catch on fire.
It
in the camera. In the camera, though, they were away. Yeah. But either way, it's just you do. It's the whole concept of every horror movie. Don't do this. What are they gonna do? Reverse psychology? They'll do it. It's just whatever. It creeped me out a little bit more. Personally, the end was crap.
Yeah.
There is a part 3. Just look out for it. You'll see one. Because God knows why we need to have one.
When they end like that, it is kind of annoying.
That was the
just
stupidest
like,
end.
It's still going. I was doing the thing.
Yeah.
It was essentially, we were just full of creepy shit throughout. Like, it wasn't so much story, it was creepy shit.
Kind of, I mean, personally for me, Devil Inside's a piece of shit. That movie should never have been made. It's not good. You haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
But it's not good. Like, they had, you know, the dog. I told you about that. The dog scene that every time she walked by the dog, it was barking, and it scared her the first time. It kind of creeped her out the second time, and that third time, she made it fucking bolt out of the, you know, she scared it. Well, they have the same concept, only it was just random moment of a dog. Oh, I'm scared. Like, random jump scares are not scary. They're just loud and surprising. That's pretty much all this thing was filled with. The creepies were like 3 or 4.
Yeah, they had like 4 or 5 jump scares and then like 4 or 5 creepies. Like, it was kind of like a balance, but like, it was very front-heavy jump scare.
Yeah,
like,
which I don't like. I hate a lot of jump scares. I just...
Also, wait, I didn't even think about this. Where did the intro scene even fit into that movie? The couple in the house?
Oh, yeah.
Where does that fit into that at all?
Well, I think what they were trying to show, and this is my personal opinion on this, is that they were trying to go with the concept that in the last one, they let the demon out. They pretty much burned it, and it's soul release. Now he's running amok, he's doing whatever he wants to do, so he's possessing every random person, and obviously it was their daughter, I would assume.
Yeah.
And so she was being possessed, and that's where it kind of falls into that a little bit better, if you can wrap your brain around that a little bit. I don't know, that's what
I couldn't remember if they ever made a connection after that, about that.
No, they never go back to that. Why would they? They'll probably go back to it in the third one, though. Maybe. Remember those families?
Maybe that's where she's going. Generally, you don't like when they show monsters or whatever. Like, it's better to have kind of the mystery around it because it makes it creepier and if they do reveal it, it could be potentially disappointing.
Oh, like Mama? That was crap, too. I'll review that for you. That was a piece of shit.
Yeah, it wasn't that great. Throughout the last Exorcism, they kept kind of hinting at the demon, and they showed like shadows and shit like that.
The shadow growing.
But they never actually like there were parts
the demon.
Yeah, which was good. I thought it was really cool because there's parts where like he's like there's a figure standing away from her and it's out of focus, but it's not.
Oh, like the scene when she's working in the motel. There's the door creaking open and the shadow is just growing, and then all of a sudden it's the random lady that she's been working with.
Yeah.
It's like
who's short.
And the shadow is twice the size of this woman, and I'm just sitting there going, oh, fuck that.
So, I mean, stuff like that. Stuff like in the church when they're figures against the windows and stuff like that.
I didn't see that. You were telling me to point. You were pointing out. Look, and I'm like.
It got blatant though after.
I didn't see it.
There was a bunch of shadows.
I was tired when we were watching this.
That's true.
So it's like in and out of.
It had elements of Dark Skies where all the birds were flying up the windows. Which is another one we should review.
There's a lot. I will write a list of what movies.
We watch. I mean, we essentially watch a movie a day at least. So
maybe.
So and
a couple movies a week.
But
which then they all start to clump together.
That's true.
And I forget which ones we've seen. But I mean, overall, it started out better and ended shitty.
Yeah.
The first one started out and ended fantastically.
I thought both of them were pretty much on par with each other. I thought both of them were decent. Like, they weren't amazing, they weren't groundbreaking, but they were still, I mean...
Quality, if that's what you're going for? Is that what you're trying to get at?
Yeah, I mean, the first one was interesting throughout, by no means scary or creepy.
Wow.
It was kind of like, whoa, towards the end, it kind of got that way, like, what the fuck is going on? And then in the second one, it was more creepy throughout, and then the ending was like, what? Like, that was kind of my...
Well, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but did her eyes do something weird? Because I rubbed my eye as soon as they showed her face in, like, the mirror. They just showed her eyes. Did they change?
I don't know.
Because I remember looking and her eyes were normal and I rubbed my eye for like half a second and all of a sudden they were just a different, like, they had the ring around it, like demon eyes. I was like, okay. Now it's like the ending of Paranormal Activity where she jumps at the screen. I'm like, why did we need that? It was eh.
I mean, they're worth checking out, I think. They're not bad.
Yeah. They're worth, you know, any sort of... I mean, if you like paranormal movies and you liked Exorcism of Emily Rose, it's not on par. I mean, Exorcism of Emily Rose is a great movie. But it's kind of like its second cousin.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It should keep you entertained enough.
Enough, yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was our first reviewy thingy. Do we want to do ratings or do we just want to read our impressions of...
I don't
and
care.
People can take it that way.
First one... out of 10, since I've seen it twice now. Going off the first time I saw it, I'd give it a 6. Part 2, I'd say about a 7.
I'd give the first a 6, and I'd probably give the second a 6 too. I'd give both of them 6s. They were like, I want to say average though. I mean 7 I guess would be average, but like they're good, but they're not amazing. Entertainment
is really all you're gonna get from it. Yeah. Unless you, I mean, like me, the reason the second one got the 7 was because it really sold me on the creepies.
Yeah.
The jump scares are crap. Jump scares are not scary. Don't ever think they are because it's just a loud bang and oh, you're gonna get scared. You're surprised. Yeah, that's all that is. The creepies and the things in the corner and growing things and the voodoo chick, that whole thing was a little creepy.
Yeah.
The first time she meets her,
not the stuff
burning off the walls and things like that. Like the whole scene of that was just really odd to me, but I kind of voodoo I'm not sold on, but ghosts and spirits I am, yes.
Yeah, I think the only
and I'm weird for that, sure, whatever. Go.
Well, I was gonna say I think the only jump scares that are really kind of like worthy of being there is like if they actually are building tension as opposed to just like silent and then bang.
The whole concept of building tension is fine, as you said, the whole building tension, that's meant to be a jump scare.
Yeah.
But the problem, the way they set that up though, is that it's just like random friend that walks in and goes, oh hi, you know.
Yeah. If it's out of nowhere,
it doesn't make sense.
If there's no like, if there's nothing there and it's just like quiet.
If they scare themselves, that makes more sense than, oh, like their friend scared them, or their kid, or a dog, or a cat jumped at their face. There's a difference. But the whole random thing is the devil inside. It does the same thing.
Yeah. Like if somebody's checking their email and they're like, they got a message that says you could die and they're like, what? And then somebody walks in, hey, how you doing? And it's just like, that's not scary.
It would startle you, crazy.
It has to earn the jump scare. If you know, I mean, you have to know it's coming. I'd rather know, like if they're building up and you know it's building up to some scare, then that's fine. But if it just comes out of nowhere, it's like, fuck you, movie, you know, just like,
that's what I kept saying.
Making me jump.
The entire time.
So,
because you know when they happen. You can already tell, like, you can feel it in your gut. You're going to go, oh shit, there's a jump scare. Fuck.
Yep. So, that was those 2 movies.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other movies we referenced in there, which we will probably review eventually.
And I will always reference other movies because everything is kind of blending together.
It's all copacetic, you know?
They all blend together at this point. There's nothing new.
What was the newest movie in recent time, newest horror movie that you thought was, like, different?
That I thought was different?
Yeah, in the last...
Recent?
Well, I mean, what was the last movie that you saw, or what was the last, movie that you saw that really kind of, like, wow, that's different? That was like, wow, that's different from what I've seen before.
God damn, that's not easy for me, just for the simple fact that I've seen so much fucked up shit.
Like good different.
Good different?
Yeah.
Audition. But it's a foreign film. Most foreign films I find to be a little bit better than state filmed, like made in the United States kind of thing, just for the simple concept that they have no boundaries.
Yeah, if it's a movie like Last Exorcism that's bound for a wide release in America, they're gonna play it safe in a lot of elements of the movie.
Well, they have to too, unfortunately.
They generally don't take it too far. Which, I mean, if you could work within the confines and make something interesting, sure, but I mean, with horror movies, generally it's too shock. And like with foreign
shock
movies,
and awe, gore, how bloody can we make it?
Yeah.
Like with the Saw franchise, which I'm sure we'll review as well, because God knows I want to see those again. I guess, audition would be anything foreign. Mostly Korean, Japanese, Chinese horror films, things like that, Thailand. Those ones I always like, just, I mean, for the simple concept that
Except for Suicide Club.
That one was not good.
Yeah. She liked them all except for
weird.
Suicide Club.
I didn't understand it. That's why I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it. But I was also distracted, so maybe that's why.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's no boundary. No European, like, anything overseas has no boundaries. They do whatever they want. And it kind of gives you that option to see how far you can push it. How far is too far. And I like that concept.
Yeah.
That's just me, though. Some people might not like Serbian film because of, oh, it's just too grotesque. It's like, well, okay. For us it is, because we're so shaded in this world. I mean, really. When people talk about sex, it's not something that comes up.
Yeah.
Where in movies, it's like, oh, we shouldn't talk about this. Or we should just show it off screen. But we'll know that they did it. This one is just like, fuck, show it, why not?
Yeah.
Almost X-rated. All of the ones we've seen are pretty much, if they were here and were rated here, they would be X-rated and no...
NC-17.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, and no one probably would watch it either. They'd probably find it an abomination. I'm sure. Good on you, European films. I love you. Okay. Your turn.
I'm Dan. I haven't seen too many horror movies.
Okay, of the ones you've seen with me, what would be something for
But it's like consistently, like, that's different, that. I'm seeing it all at once, so it's like, it's all kind of new to me. I haven't grown up...
Okay, so what's the best movie that we've seen that you've liked? Or not the best movie, but like your...
Martyrs.
Martyrs?
I liked Martyrs a lot.
Why?
I liked the ending a lot.
Okay, but
because
like, what about Martyrs besides the ending did you like? Why?
It was just the idea of the ending. Like, I liked the... Because the first half of the movie is all just like, okay, it's kind of horror stuff where there's something chasing them and what the fuck is going on. She's trying to find people who used to kidnap her, she escaped from. And, you know, the slow reveal towards the end that it's all like this kind of like group that's doing this to her for a certain reason. And the reason why and all that stuff was interesting. And the end particularly was interesting
The
to
whole
me.
martyr thing.
Yeah. So,
of them seeing God,
yeah.
or whatever it is. I still don't get what a martyr is, but I personally have no clue. I looked it up, and the definition of to me still makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, the definition of martyr is somebody who will die for what they believe in.
But she wasn't dead, that's my thing. So that doesn't make sense, but it doesn't matter. It's a good movie, that's why I showed it to him.
The lady at the very end was a martyr.
The very, very end?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, I thought that was really interesting, and when it ended, I was like, I like that. Like, that was a good ending. So, any horror movie that can pull off a good ending, I think that's the ones that I'm like, wow, that's different, because generally horror movies don't have good endings.
What movie was it that we watched that I really liked the ending, and you said, wait, you don't like those endings? Human Centipede 2. That's the one we saw, because you didn't like the ending too much.
Right?
Well, I mean, you didn't,
I didn't like it as much as you did.
I really like the ending. I don't like the movie, per se. Both the movies are gross.
They're weird.
Well, they're weird and gross. Achilles tendon things, knee things.
There's a lot of stuff in that she couldn't watch.
I was in the other room, and he kept reading things off.
Subtitles.
That was not helping me, because my knee started to hurt when you were talking about the cutting. And I was just, no. But...
Continues to cry in pain.
Well, no, like, you read cracking, and like, I was picturing, and you're like, I knew what he was just doing, the kneecaps, like the tendons by the knees, and you said crack, and I'm like, oh, okay, and then my knee started to hurt for like an hour after that. I'm like, oh, good job, brain. But no, the ending of it is suggestive, and I like that. I like the way it ended. Personally, the first one, poor girl, it sucks for her. The second one is suggestive, and did he really do it, because of the way you hear things in the background. You hear the kid crying from before he kidnaps the family,
the parents,
the pregnant wife, and everything like that.
Yeah.
You didn't like the baby part. I personally didn't think they were gonna have it in there.
Why did I like the baby part?
I don't know. You're just like, oh.
Yeah, that was funny.
Wasn't that gross?
But I mean, it was just like
it was Muppet looking.
I didn't think it was that Muppet looking. I mean, it was a newborn baby, so yeah.
It looked like a Muppet. The mouth looked stupid. But either way, I digress. But the thing is that the concept of it is that did he really do it, or has he been sitting here the entire time contemplating this? because they suggest 2 different ways that he could have gone about it, especially with the kid still crying in the background of the kid that lost his parents, his dad and his mother. So it's just, I like the ending of it. I thought it was a very smart ending.
Yeah.
Phantasm's ending, not so smart.
So that was our review of Human Centipede 2. Full sequence.
No, it wasn't.
No, just... Hey, we should do where people leave in the comments a topic they'd like us to talk about. Kind of like that, like the idea of what's the most original movie we've seen recently, or something like that.
I don't care.
So, leave some topic ideas, because obviously we can't just stick to one movie when we're talking about these.
I like talking about them.
So, like, leave us some questions that we could cover in, like, a topic, because obviously we went pretty long with this video, and it was just a review for 2 movies, and we ended up talking about so many different ones, because we like talking about this stuff, so... Yeah, so...
2 movie nerds sitting in one room.
Exactly.
This is what happens.
Horror movie nerd and just movie nerd. So. But, so yeah, hopefully you guys like this and let us know what you thought and give us some topic ideas and movies we might want to check out, because we are willing to check out anything. So.
I am. Don't put willing to check out anything. That doesn't sound good.
From the movies we've watched.
I know, right?
I think I'm qualified to say that we are willing to watch anything.
How much worse could it get, really?
I mean, we've watched intelligent horror movies, completely just gore horror movies.
Shitty horror movies like Creature Features, which are crap.
Movies that are just full of naked people and no sense whatsoever making of that, and stuff like that. So, I mean, we'll watch anything. I'm going to put that out there. We'll watch anything. So, suggest stuff, we'll take a look at it, and if we want to check it out, we'll check it out. So, thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Show your support. Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye.